They say Leonardo da Vinci's mind was never still, and they were right. Inside him lived 1,000 worlds, inventions, visions, creatures, and dreams, all orbiting a single powerful idea that everything in nature was connected. He saw the entire universe as one grand, intricate machine. To him, the wings of a bird were not so different from the leaves of a tree. Rivers flowed through the land just as veins course through the body, and the body itself was a map of divine geometry. While most people saw a world made of separate, disconnected parts, Leonardo saw one living, breathing system, spinning and creating in perfect, harmonious rhythm. He was born in the rolling Tuscan hills, a place where light seemed to paint everything it touched. Even as a child, he would watch shadows move across ancient stones and see the hidden mathematics in the sunlight. He would later write, study the science of art and the art of science, and he lived those words every single day, because for Leonardo, there was no boundary between what could be measured and what could be imagined. When he drew, he wasn't just sketching, he was dissecting the very logic of beauty. Each stroke of his charcoal, each graceful curve of a line, was a hypothesis, a theory about how the world truly worked. His notebooks weren't diaries. They were living minds of their own, filled with his famous swirling handwriting, reversed and mirrored, as if he was writing for the eyes of the future. He drew flying machines that wouldn't exist for centuries. He sketched complex gears that could, in theory, move the world. He studied human anatomy not just to see bone and muscle, but to understand how the soul animates the flesh. In his workshop, art and engineering danced together in a brilliant partnership. He painted the enigmatic smile of the Mona Lisa with the same meticulous precision he used to design catapults and clocks. His brushstrokes were like equations. His inventions were like poetry. But genius can be a lonely companion. For all his brilliance, Leonardo rarely finished what he started. His mind would leap to new and exciting ideas long before his hands could complete the old ones. He once lamented, "I have offended God and mankind because my work did not reach the quality it should have." But perhaps he was wrong, because Leonardo's work was never truly about perfection. It was about the pursuit, the endless, passionate search for truth hidden in motion, color, and light. At night, he would stare up at the stars and wonder if the same invisible forces that made rivers flow also pulled the moon across the midnight sky. He felt the pulse of the universe in every single heartbeat, and he listened closely. He believed that understanding was a form of love, that to study something deeply was to give it life. All over again through pure observation. Whether he was painting a smile or dissecting a cadaver, he was always in complete awe of the design behind existence. Leonardo saw the divine not in some distant heaven, but right here on earth, in the delicate structure of a feather, the perfect symmetry of a flower, the fluid motion of a bird in flight. He believed that art was the shadow of knowledge, and knowledge was the shadow of wonder. As he grew older, his sketches filled with new and startling contradictions, machines of both beauty and destruction, dreams of peace alongside instruments of war. The world desperately wanted his genius but rarely understood his soul. In his final years, he quietly wrote that learning never exhausts the mind, only ignorance does. And even as his hand trembled with age, his imagination burned brighter than ever. He saw the earth not as a creation to be conquered, but as a masterpiece to be understood. To him, humanity wasn't separate from nature, we were simply one of its most curious inventions. And perhaps that is why his name still echoes so powerfully, centuries later. Because Leonardo da Vinci did not just paint, invent, or observe, he reminded us what it means to truly wonder, to see the invisible patterns that bind everything together, to chase questions that may never have answers. This was a day in the mind of Leonardo da Vinci. If you enjoyed this journey through history, please like this video and subscribe for more stories that bring the greatest minds back to life, and tell us in the comments whose mind should we explore next.